What's happening, APLers? Here with the Week 9 preview. We are playing the other division this week, so no divisional games and a chance for weird stuff to happen. If like one team can win out of the division, everybody else loses. So shot to make some moves up in the standings here. So first matchup we're gonna go with is Daggy versus Corey. So Daggy's rolling with Mr. Carr this week, so got him as the backdrop, and then a dejected Devontae Adams. Here from Monday night, it's Corey's theme here. Mr. Adams might be happy with the changes that happened this week. So, quarterback, first up, Derek Carr gets the Bears. Good matchup. My only concern there, probably Corey's too, or Daggy's too, is that if the Saints are winning by a lot, then he's not going to need to pass. But Stafford's dead, so Carr's gets the role. The starting lineup this week for Corey, it's Mahomes, as always. It's got a nice matchup with the Dolphins here. 394 is the projection. We all get to get up early, or we'll get to check scores early to see how Mahomes does in that Dolphins matchup. So should be a shootout there. It's a nice little projection for Corey. So advantage at the quarterback spot. Running back, Daggy's got Royce Freeman and Zach Moss going. Freeman splitting time with Henderson. For the Rams, who, I don't know, maybe might need to run the ball like a million times because they don't have a quarterback this week. And Moss has still been consistent, even with Jonathan Taylor in the mix. I think they were saying this week that the only thing holding Jonathan Taylor back from getting all the work is Zach Moss, because Zach Moss has been good. So 82 points has been pretty standard. Obviously, it'd be a lot better if he had the whole role, but it's fine. On the Corey side of the ball, the Jacobs and Pacheco, pretty solid. Jacobs gets the Giants. They should probably just give him the ball like a million times because he's the best or second best player in their offense. Maybe their new coordinator will do that. Pacheco gets the Dolphins. Dolphins defense hasn't been great either, and could be in line for some passing work there too. So advantage Corey, the running back spot as well. Wide receivers and tight ends look fairly even on this side. So Addison, it's the Falcons, obviously with Cousins out, it's a little concerning. He's got Jaron Hall throwing the ball. It's not as big of an upside there. Godwin and Lockett have been steady performers, not really going crazy at all. So that's kind of what's projected here. But Lockett can get deep and Godwin can just catch a ton of passes if that's how the game's going to go there for the Bucks. Pitts against the Vikings. Tyler Heineke's at quarterback now, so maybe that means they throw the ball more. It probably means they don't, but maybe Pitts actually gets like an on-target pass because Ritter wasn't able to do that. So the few times they do pass, maybe it'll be more accurate, and maybe there's a chance for a big boom game there from Pitts. The Corey side of the ball, I talked about Adams a little bit at the start. So 85 is his number there. I'd like to think he just gets force-fed the ball, and it's a big Devontae spot. Evans is on the other side of the field there from opposite of Godwin. So kind of feels like the same matchup. Evans has been better most weeks than Godwin this year. So probably an advantage there for Corey. Michael Thomas gets the nod at the third wide receiver spot against the Bears, which is a good spot and offset some of the Derek Carr stuff. Corey would probably prefer to have Drake London in that spot, but as we'll talk about a little later, he bought some damaged goods from the Boot Barn, which there have been some issues with that lately, that the Boot Barn is selling some defective merchandise, but I'm told there's no return policy, no performance guarantees. So Michael Thomas it is, and Drake London is hurt. Cole Kmet gets a start at tight end this week with Evan Ingram out. He was a monster last week. Whatever the hell that guy's name is, Badgin something like that, threw the ball like a ton. So maybe that's a thing here. It's not projected. The 81 is what's projected. I think he had like 178 last week. Huge number. So that Bears and Saints game looks to be important in this Daggy Corey matchup. At kicker and IDP, I changed it up a little bit this week. I went with season averages for these guys. So kicker looks pretty even. Holcomb just got wrecked early in the game on Thursday night. So there you go, get a new IDP after this week, and then the other guys are in there. So this looks like Corey comes out to a pretty easy, smooth win. I think just Day's got the roster that's been traded away. So Corey's got Mahomes, Pacheco. I think they're just too much, and the rest of the roster is solid enough to get enough points to keep Daggy winless another week. So next matchup, go with me and Jake here. So according to Matt LaFleur, Aaron Jones is all the way healthy now and just ready to be unleashed this week. So he gets the feature spot here. And then Tyreek gets the matchup against the Chiefs. So it should be fun. At quarterback, Dak versus the Eagles. This 304 to me seems a little bit low. Kind of want to go higher with that, but left it there. The Eagles pass defense has been easily beaten pretty much all year long. And the Eagles-Cowboys game seems like it could be a shootout in a big offensive game. So Dak probably should be a lot more than 304. Josh Allen gets the Bengals on Sunday night. We're on the road. Be interesting to see how that game plays out. Jake and I each have a bunch of guys in that. So I think we're both probably hoping for a shootout, but 369 for Allen is the number there. At running back, Jake has the all-world CMC bye. So Kareem Hunt fills in against the Cardinals. It's a nice spot there. He'll obviously split time with Jerome Ford and Pierre Strong, who was effective last week, unexpectedly. Aaron Jones supposed to be unleashed. The 74 points here does not indicate that he's unleashed, but we'll see. I think there's some upside. Running back on my side, James Cook against the Bengals. Still trying to decide between him and Ken Walker, but we'll go with Cook for now in a potentially more explosive offensive game here. And then Breece Hall gets the Chargers on Monday night. Chargers haven't been real good at defense. The Jets are really bad at offense in general, but take my chances with Breece. So 115 is the number. So big advantage there at running back for me. The pass catching crew. Jake is all in on the Cincy pass catchers. So we got Chase and Higgins against the depleted Bills secondary. They got some help from the Packers there at cornerback. So we'll see how effective Douglas is on Sunday night, just getting thrown into the mix there for the Bills. DJ Moore gets the Saints. Probably a tough matchup with Marshawn Lattimore there, but we've seen that DJ Moore has been a game breaker before, so can't ever rule him out. I also missed Kittle here, so Schultz gets the nod at tight end for Jake. He's been good. So 73 seems a little bit light. Seems like there could be more there. So pretty strong group there from Jake. On my side, Keenan gets the Jets on Monday Night Football. Don't feel great there. The Jets corners are good, and the Chargers offense hasn't been as great as we had hoped going into the season. Tyreek gets his old team Sunday morning over in Germany. 132 is the number there. The dude seems like he puts up 132 in his sleep, but Chiefs corners are solid. Snead and McDuffie have been shutting people down, so might not be. I don't think it's a boom game for Tyreek. I think he's motivated, but he could be held in check. And then CD went nuts last week. Eagles secondary is not good, kind of like we talked about with Dak there. So hopefully a bunch of the Dak stuff goes to CD, and I can offset a bunch of those Dak points. Mark Andrews against the Seahawks. The guy's always potential to have just a huge game. So 132 is the number there. Throwing the kickers in the defense, which looks pretty even on our side. I think just the advantage that quarterback and running back are the potential advantages. Projects me with a comfortable lead. I don't think it'll be that close. I think that Dak and Schultz and Aaron Jones will close that gap quite a bit. So I'm definitely going to have the come from behind type of victory, because if I do win, it'll be a come from behind victory, because it's going to be quarterback, both running backs and wide receiver are playing in Monday Night Football. So it'll be score watching to see how things go. And I just think overall in the end, no CMC and Kittle is a big difference maker here. So throw those guys in the lineup, and this is a definite toss up. So next matchup here is going to need a little bit of backstory. So early, maybe middle of this week, Kevin sends a text to me today and says, "Hey, Josh Allen's not practicing, and Waller looks like it's going to go. It looks like he's going to go on IR. So there's some discount prices at the Boot Barn if you guys are interested." And Sade responds, "The last thing I bought at the Boot Barn seems to have fallen apart before in its first use," which is referring to Tony Pollard last week. So we all had a good laugh about that. And then about a day later, I get a text. It says Sade says, "I'm checking out at the Boot Barn again." And so that was the Njoku and Deontay trade. So Sade is making this standard. I'm going to trade from the guy I'm playing this week to weaken his roster to give me the even more of an advantage this week. Good play. Smart move. But then we kind of just started talking about how everything that's been purchased from the Boot Barn has not really been good at all. Might be some damaged merchandise. And Sade is really the brainchild behind all this stuff. So we're kind of compared the Boot Barn to a thrift shop, and then started dropping Macklemore lines in. And as Sade famously said, they had a Burton Njoku. I bought a Burton Njoku. So there he is. Burton Njoku. So anyway, enough of that. The matchup this week, Sade gets to beat the carcass of the Boot Barn. So Herbert gets the Jets on Monday night. It's not great. Jets pass team solid. So maybe not a huge game. Doesn't seem like a boom spot there, but 313 solid. Lamar gets the Seahawks. They're at home. It's like an every other week thing for Lamar. So 326 is the number. Here, running back Eckler gets the Jets again. Not great, but we saw last week just like one dump off pass from Herbert, and Eckler's gone and puts up that 116 or that 112 easily. Tony Pollard gets the tough Eagles defense here. 97 points is the projection, but we'll see if that damaged Boot Barn goods can beat the Boot Barn. Jalen Warren gets 116 on Thursday night. Ross has to be pretty excited about that. And then Rachaad White gets the Texans. The dude just catches a ton of passes and seems like he has a steady floor each week. So looks pretty even so far. Pass catchers, not so even. So Deontay Johnson comes over from Ross in that Deontay and Njoku trade and scores his first touchdown in like 2 years. It's 117 points. Puka Nacua gets the Packers. It seems like a good spot, but the quarterback is definitely going to be a concern. It doesn't sound like Stafford's going to play. So we'll see how well that offense functions without their starter. And then Waddle gets the Chiefs on Sunday morning. He finally went off last week and seems like might be in line for that to be a regular thing. And Njoku's been really good lately. It's been with PJ Walker. So because Sade also stated it, he wishes PJ Walker was starting, not Deshaun Watson this week. So maybe that offense falls apart. And Njoku is not as good as he's been the last few weeks, but they get the Cardinals, so can't be that hard. So those spots all seem pretty solid, except for Nacua with the question marks at quarterback. On the Ross side, he's just hoping for shit to stick here. So Gabe Davis against the Bengals, good last week. Sure, why not? Going to be a potential shootout game there. Jahan Dotson versus the Patriots. Washington throws the ball a billion times. Dotson had a good week last week, so give it a shot there. And then Demario Douglas on the opposite side of the same game. All the Patriots pass catchers are dead, except for him. So see what that dude can do. And then Michael Mayer at tight end. Like, there's got to be somebody better than him to start. He had a good game. But there's got to be something better. But anyway, we'll leave him in there for 35 points. Kickers and defense, again, kind of a wash here. But today's, I think, has a pretty easy path here to victory. So about 180 point margin there. So Sade clumps and his damaged purchases pay off. So I think Deontay and Njoku make a difference in this matchup with those being on Sade's side. And we'll see what Pollard does. But next matchup. So the last two are like super close. I'll be very interested to see how they go. So first one we have is Tank and Greg. These guys are probably a big part of which way this one goes. So quarterback, big time advantage to Greg here. He's got Jalen Hurts. It's been really good the last several weeks, probably since week 3 on. He's been really good. Gets a tough Cowboys defense, but they're at home. It's the Eagles offense just kind of looks unstoppable. They can do whatever they want. They've been running a lot more, but don't feel too iffy about the 348 from Hurts there. Take it's Geno at the Ravens. A little concerned with that one. Tough defense on the road. Purdy's on bye, so Geno's who he has to roll with. 287 feels pretty realistic there. So big advantage to Greg at quarterback. Running back, Tank's got Kamara versus the Bears. That should be a cakewalk. Real easy one there. And then I was rolling with the Ramondre at the second spot. ETN's out this week on bye. So Ramondre gets a call over DeAndre Swift. So Swift is the tough Cowboys matchup there. So Ramondre has the easy Commanders matchup. So Tank's hoping for some good stuff there to Ramondre. On the Greg side, he starts Derrick Henry this week, who has let's say, good game against the Steelers. Probably hoping for some more, but $1.25 on Thursday night. Definitely not going to be not going to complain about that. And then Greg's rolling with Mixon against the Bills on Sunday night here. Gus Edwards has been his dude the last couple of weeks, who he's had faith in, and he doesn't get the call this week. I'll be watching that one for the weekly awards to see how that works out. But Mixon in that game against the Bills seems like a good call too. So also in that game, Tank's pass catcher there with Diggs, 111 against the Bengals. I think that number is got some upside potential to it. And then Ayuk is out this week as well for Tank. So McLaurin, Devonta Smith are the other pass catching dudes. So obviously Devonta is going to offset the Hurts stuff. So Greg's hoping for a lot more, like all of it to go to Goddard, but Goddard and AJ Brown to be the focus for Hurts to get the advantage. Kelsey in the potential shootout game against the Dolphins there is a nice spot for Tank. So 200-point projection. Back to the Greg side, Nico Collins against the Bucks seems good. Not like a crazy shootout kind of game, but the Bucks they've been easier to pass against than to run against. So DeAndre Hopkins played on Thursday night. He got 69 points. It's a little disappointing. He had 69 points at halftime and didn't catch the ball or touch the ball in the second half. So could have been a big spot. Just wasn't. Olave against the Bears. He just hasn't been that good this year. So be interesting to see if he can get going against the Bears. But and then Goddard, 107 is fine. Seems like a minimum. Could be some upside potential in that one too. So throwing kickers and defense, and this is really close. So it's like 14 points. Swing to the Tank side. So I'll go that Tank does sneak by, but the Dallas Philly game is really the key to how all this goes. If the Eagles pass game can deal with the Cowboys defense, then I have a feeling that Greg could come out on top if it's a big Hurts and Goddard day. All right, so last matchup here is Ryan versus Solomon, another close one. I had a Baker Mayfield photo here, like all ready to go, and I had like a little bit of like shock that Baker Mayfield was actually going to be in the starting lineup for somebody this year, but Solomon didn't give me that pleasure. So swaps him out for Bryce Young, who plays the Colts, who have been getting lit up all year, the secondary. So we'll see how that I think that's a better spot than Mayfield. And we'll see how that one plays out. It also offsets the wide receiver matchup here for Ryan that we'll talk about coming up. But Ryan has Burrow against the Bills, depleted secondary. I talked about that already. Sunday Night Football in a big spot at home. Team seems to be rolling right now. So 323, I think, is a minimum. Could be a huge game for Burrow on Sunday night for everybody to watch. So definitely like the Ryan advantage there at quarterback. At the running back spot, Mostert and Taylor seem pretty solid. Mostert's playing at the Chiefs kind of there in Germany. It's a Chiefs home game. But 89 for Mostert seems fine. He hasn't been as absurd lately as he was early in the year, but he's always a chance to score a bunch of touchdowns and touch the ball a lot. Jonathan Taylor, maybe a little gimpy. Definitely a Zach Moss to take some touches away from him. So capping that 106 from going higher. Seems like a solid number. Solomon's running backs, obviously drafted high, and they're good. So Saquon got like 39 touches last week as they just ran the ball like crazy because all of their quarterbacks were hurt. So Raiders D seems like another good spot to run the ball against a ton. And then Bijan gets the Vikings. There's no Drake London, so maybe that's more Bijan in the offense there. But a lot of people really like him to have a huge week. Just doesn't have him in a little while, so maybe he's done. Maybe it's his time. Well, the pass catchers for Ryan are really good. AJ Brown just been crazy this year, like 125 yards every game, or more than 125 yards every game. I forget how many it is, but it's a lot. Cooper Kupp, same as Nakua, have the concerns about quarterback there, and he's had a couple down weeks, so maybe he'll get back on track. And then Thielen has just been getting everything, all of the volume. So Ryan will hope for the majority of the Bryce Young points to go there to offset the quarterback points. On the other side, Laporta is on bye this week, so Logan Thomas fills in, who has been mostly good. He's had a couple dud games, but the Patriots, not too scary there. If the Patriots are aiming to take away other people like McLaurin or Dotson, then maybe that leaves Thomas open for a good game. On the Solomon side, Mamari against the Cardinals, it's good. Deshaun's back, maybe that's bad. Watson against the Rams, if Jordan Love could throw deep ball or throw him a pass that's catchable, that might be helpful. I don't feel great about that, but the dude is getting a ton of passes thrown to him way down the field. So maybe one of these times they can hit on one and get a big game. Garrett Wilson has been good, even with Zach Wilson throwing the ball. So feeling pretty good about the 89. The feeling that they're going to have to score, so they're going to be throwing the ball. Hawkinson against the Falcons, to feel like he's going to get fed the ball a lot of short targets for the rookie quarterback. Again, just concerned that the rookie quarterback sucks really bad and nothing happens there. Throwing kickers and defense, Ryan's defense is really strong. They've been averaging a ton of points all year. Kicker's been good too. Someone has the best kicker to date there, but Dustin Hopkins at the 118. Watt a little off on Thursday night, but looks solid otherwise. So another tight one here, 27 points is Ryan for the victory. I lean towards Ryan just for the Burrow matchup on Sunday night. So I think this one comes down to Burrow versus Young. What's the point differential there? And then Logan Thomas versus Hawkinson. And that comes down to being the deciding factor. So I think this is the key matchup of the week for me, is to see what happens in this one. I think this is a telling sign for the rest of the season for each of these guys. Whoever gets a win here, it's big. All right, so quick summary. It's not week 8, it's week 9. Forgot to change that. But Corey over Daggy, 172-point margin there. Me over Jake, Sadeh over Ross, and then the two tight ones, Tank over Greg, and Ryan over Solomon. Lock of the week, I'd prefer not to go with the lock on one of the teams that has traded stuff away, but I did it this week anyway, so I'm going today over Ross for the lock of the week. All right, just for you, Kevin, I think I made it through without coughing, so you can stop calling me Haunty Cough Guy. And good luck to everybody. Hope nobody gets hurt tomorrow or on Monday, and everybody gets a win. Talk to you later.